All right, man, peace. You know, brothers, I happened to catch this rather disrespectful segment here on the CBS Morning News during so-called Whores Month, aka Women's Month, here in the Western society or Western civilization, where you have females who venerate the mother goddess and want to try to propagate that energy on the masses at large and get you to believe that you're supposed to bow down to them and feel some level of guilt because supposedly women are being so oppressed in Western civilization, which they are not. Not only is the woman not being oppressed, she's being overly exalted to her detriment. It's like any other child who gets spoiled. It's not going to be to that child's benefit. It's going to be to their detriment. And the reason why I call Women's Month Whore Month or Whores Month is because, once again, it's meant to commemorate the mother goddess, aka the whore of Babylon. These females are the recipients of that energy, and it entices them into believing that conducting themselves in a loose way or in a slutty way or in a way that disregards the importance of them understanding restraint and respect is in some way, shape, or form deleterious to them. Like, the modern day female really believes that to respect herself and her sexual aspect and to respect the conventions of a real society is oppression to her. They believe that they're actually equal to men. No, women are not equal to men, just like men are not equal to women. The man has a role, the woman has a role, but the man is the head when he's in his right mind. Now, a lot of these men out here are not in their right mind, so they can't be the head. And what that does is that encourages the woman in this delusion of believing that she should be the head. But just getting back to this segment right here. I caught this on the CBS Morning News. It was extremely poisonous, extremely toxic. And it was a way in which, once again, Western society tries to impose many of its ideological beliefs on other parts of the world. And to a degree, it's working. There was a feature on the females located in Kenya who allege that they're being oppressed and abused by their husbands. So they formed their own enclave, their own village out there in the jungles of Kenya. So anyway, they're going to talk about it and I'm going to chime in.
Well, in our series, The World of Mothers, we are looking at what motherhood means around the globe. And this morning, our focus is on a community healing from tragedy. Deborah Pata visited a small village in northern Kenya where a group of women have come to live together. Men are not allowed there. She
said that with pride, too. Men are not allowed there. Look at the bottom. It says, women unite. So what they're truly trying to encourage is the woman to separate from her man, particularly once she has a child by that man. They're trying to push that energy in Kenya. And I also suspect that one of the main reasons why they're having this feature is because, once again, the Babylonian Kemetic mystery school system started in that vicinity of Kenya. Please understand that Asar and Aset, Ra, Heru, so on and so forth, had their fount or their fountain in that area there of Kenya, the southern part of ancient Kemet.
She's in Johannesburg, South Africa, where she is based. Deborah, good morning. Tell us more.
This person here, Deborah Pata, has always been an instigator and a provocateur. Going back well over 20 years, she's been involved in the media, and she also married a South African prince just for the sake of bringing attention to a lot of the controversy that it would cause in South Africa at that time. Of course, thereafter, they received a divorce. I also noticed that she has the Adam's apple of a thoroughbred horse. Ain't that a bitch?
Good morning. In Samburu, which is in an extremely rural part of Kenya, there is rampant poverty and unemployment. The infant mortality rate is over 35%. But in a part of the country where women are often regarded as second-class citizens, there is one village where women rule.
Well, wait a minute. According to these females who complain in America, aren't they also regarded as second-class citizens here? So what's really the difference, according to what you allege? And this broad knows she dead wrong for all that bullshit she talking. She feels so guilty and so paranoid. She out there in the jungles of South Africa in camouflage. If the broad had a green mask on her head, I would not even notice she was there. She blended in with her environment.
It's hard enough to be a woman in Samburu, but without a child here, you are regarded as nothing.
Brothers, once again, especially for those of you who are interested in the scriptures, these people right here are the descendants of the ancient Cushites and Mizraimites, but predominantly the Cushites.
Diana LaCantia proved her worth by having 3 children, including 6-month-old baby Tao. Like so many women in African countries where there is poverty, children are your riches.
You know what's so funny? Had this been a group of men who were living in a village like that, taking care of children, they would have said, what is going on here? Is this lifestyle what is the most conducive for raising a healthy child? Shouldn't we have that child taken out of the custody of the men and left to the state so that the child could receive a proper upraising? Instead, they're going to glamorize these females out here raising their children in a mud hut when we're living in a modernized society. I mean, if that's what they want to do and their husbands are okay with it, then that's their business. But for the CBS Morning News to try to glamorize this should be showing a lot of cats for paying attention what this feature is actually about. They're trying to entice women all over the world to become like the American/European woman, aka the westernized woman. It is not so much about race. When I say the European and the American woman, I'm not talking about the Caucasian woman. I'm talking about the Western woman and that mindset, that same mindset of the whore of Babylon. I sit a queen. I can do it on my own. I could do it by myself. I don't need a man except for all the government provisions that I expect from the man so that I can exist and subsist in my delusion.
It can come at a cost, though. The cunter's husband beat her constantly. No longer able to stand it, she fled here.
I need to know who their barber is. Their barber got their lineups on point. I mean, shit.
To Umoja, the village, where men are banned.
Is it better to be a mother without a...
Wait a minute. Men are banned? Then what the hell is that on the on the right? That's not a man? Holy shit. That woman looked like JJ from Good Times. What the hell is going on here? I dare one of you brothers to tell me that don't look like Ozzie Davis without the mustache.
without a man?
Fantastic, no stress.
I understood that.
Now, the Caucasian woman asked the Hamitic woman, what's it like to live here without a man? And the Hamitic woman said, fantastic, no stress. You know what's so interesting? If you let many of the modern females tell you, men are such a source of stress, when in all reality, at least for the Western woman, the men who give them the least stress are the men that they don't want to be with because they claim that those men are squares or boring or what have you. Now, of course, in the case of this female right here, I'm not quite sure what culture she was raised up in and what it entails. We know that it's a quote-unquote foreign culture, what the Caucasian would describe as a third world culture. So who knows what is expected of her in the household or what she's expected to tolerate. We don't really know. Maybe she was getting her ass whooped on the daily. Maybe homeboy bust in her mouth. That's why her teeth look like 5 miles of bad road. I don't know. Either way, the Western woman constantly is trying to get the females who are indigenous or aboriginal to believe that they don't need a man, that a man is a burden, that a man is a source of stress. Well, once again, the females here in America tend to chase the quote-unquote bad boys or are raised and imbued with a mentality that the man is a hindrance and is always trying to stop them from getting to where they want to go. And then when they don't get to where they want to go, they blame the men who were not there to support them. Ain't that something?
Yes, it is.
Guess what? Stress-free is a word you hear often in Umoja.
Oh, bitch, please. We heard it once. They don't even know what the hell the word stress mean. Maybe that's why their hairlines are so damn far back, all of them, because they ain't got no man there.
But what it really means is that these women no longer have to fear the men who hurt them. In Samburu, a woman has a 95% chance of being beaten by her husband.
Oh, really? So you're telling me that 95 out of 100 wives are getting their asses whooped by their husbands? And who took that poll?
You've lived here for a long time. Judy Lelumba was 12 when she was forced to marry a 50-year-old man.
Well, that's how it's always been in indigenous cultures. 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old girls had to get married, really all across the world until about 100 or so years ago. For the most part, I guarantee you, if you were to ask your great-grandmother how old she was when she had your grandmother, she's probably going to say 14 years old, 13 years old, 15 years old. That's how it was. Because the females in the Aboriginal cultures are raised to be wives and mothers.
Yes, 24 now. He was beating me again. So that's why I came again here. And I decided now I cannot go back again.
I need to know why he was whooping your ass, though. I'm not co-signing it. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that it's okay. I just need to know, did the man come home and his barbecue antelope was cold? Like, what really did he hook off on you for? Or were you trying to run off at the mouth? Were you clicking and trying to curse him out in that click language and he got mad? I mean, you know, people just get on TV and they say any damn thing. But once again, brothers, if you're in a relationship where you're feeling like you're getting enticed into getting into a physical altercation, you have to get out of that relationship. A lot of you guys are raised to believe that arguing and falling out with the woman and falling back into the woman, you know, that's a natural part of a relationship, and it's not. If you can't maintain a balance and stability, and neither can she, then she needs to go. And you have to get to the level where you understand what functionality is. Cats are too dysfunctional, man. And you bring a lot of that stress and that drama on yourself.
Now 3 months pregnant, Judy already has 2 daughters. Her dream is that they will get the education she was denied as a child bride.
At least they ain't got to worry about getting their hair done. I mean, damn.
Umoja has set up its own school. Curiously, for an all-women community, there are a lot of children around.
The narrator said, curiously, for an all-women community, there are a lot of children around. Why is that? Because they've created a whore community. They go out, meet men, get pregnant, go back to the village. So in other words, they've created an Aboriginal version of the relationship archetype that we have here in America, where the woman lives by herself. She has a boyfriend or somebody like that. She gets knocked up and she starts to argue with the man, get him to leave, claim he's a deadbeat, and put him on child support, and then she can go off to the next man. Once again, that's why they're making this feature. That's why they decided to tell this story here.
It's a good life because as we believe, if you don't have child, you are not a women.
She said it's a good life because as we believe, if you don't have a child, you're not a woman. So in other words, you like being able to stay by yourself in your mud hut, go out, meet a strange man, get pregnant, and then just bring the child back to the mud hut village.
It's allowed young ladies like me to go and find your boyfriend outside, but you cannot bring the village.
So the boyfriend stays there?
Yes.
And you can fall pregnant?
If I want to get a baby, I can go out to get.
So what?
Brothers, you hear that? That's what they're teaching the females out there in Kenya, at least the ones who are still living in the indigenous or the Aboriginal lifestyle. If I want baby, I can go out and get. What that really means is I can go into the city, find a dude that I think is attractive. She probably got some different attire. You know, they wearing their ancestral garments for this feature, for this, you know, this little segment here. But who knows? She might have a freakum dress somewhere in that hut. She put on a freakum dress, head back to the city, meet her a nice little, you know, baller shot caller. Got him a big ass elephant, you know. Ride that elephant back to his crib. She get knocked up, come right back to the village, chilling. You know, it's not like she paying rent or light. You know, she's living in a mud hut.
What? So it is the women.
Oh, there she go. See, she came out with her little freakum outfit on, with them 1,000 rings around her neck.
Women who make all the decisions here. They build their own homes with woven twigs for walls, dried cow manure for the roof, and sell beautiful handmade beadwork. The money earned shared equally. What's left is put away for emergencies. When Lucy Larapora's 2-year-old son fell ill with malaria, that emergency fund meant she could take him to a clinic and buy life-saving medicine.
She needs to buy some fly repellent. Damn baby got a tsetse all up in his left eye. I mean, come on.
But Umoja provides so much more than financial.
Get it? That chick on the right is getting it.
Financial stability. The village elders provide a sense of community
She doing the Kenyan Harlem Shake.
and even fun. They're also there
Get it?
to help turn these young women into young mothers.
Here it's okay because one mother can come and show you how to breastfeed.
Who is this, Tyler the Creator?
They come and show you what you have to eat. Everything.
Lucy grew up in Umoja. Her mother was a founding member. She got pregnant with a man outside the village but chose to live here.
She wants her...
Of course, because that's the single mother paradigm that was established by her mother. Go out, have sex with a dude, bring the baby back. Brothers, we have to understand this, man. That's why I always gear my messages towards you. I don't gear my messages towards the woman. The woman is, she has to have things explained to her by her man. That's how we restore the order and, the linkage between the man and the woman. Is to encourage the woman to listen to her man. So we have to focus our messages on the man. The woman can't become an estranged man getting information, because then she's going to become enraptured by that man. She has to go speak to her man. But once again, this is what they're doing all across the earth. They're encouraging females to use men just as breeders. That's it. Okay? That's what it means to have a matriarchy. You have the queen bee and then you have the drones. So they only really want the man as a breeder. I hope that many of you brothers understand that, because I promise you that for the most part, the vast majority of females that you encounter are going to be approaching you in a way to make you believe, and maybe even make themselves believe, that they really want to be with you on some lifelong stuff, when in reality, they really just want to use you for your sperm, for your seed. That's the most important thing that we have and that we create. We create life within our loins. It's called the seed. The woman needs that. She really does not need anything else from the man in this modern day society where they worship the whore of Babylon.
Her son Jeremy to break the cycle of bad Samburu men.
I'll just encourage him to be a good man.
How can you encourage him to be a good man when he's not going to have the imprint of what manhood is? It's really a shame, man. They have the Aboriginals with that single mama bullshit.
Don't beat your wife.
I agree with that. Don't beat your wife.
Don't give her some stress.
She said don't give her some stress. I don't know what that means. I mean, if your man wants that fricassee baboon to be prepared a certain way, or that grilled antelope to be hot and piping when he gets home, he has a right to demand that.
The women of the Mojo don't have a lot, but they have each other. And that's enough to make sure no child goes hungry and grow.
Well, all those children are going to go hungry. They're just not going to go hungry for food. They're going to be hungry for guidance from men.
Growing up, they never experience the torment their mothers went through.
This person, Deborah Pata, stated that the children are going to grow up not experiencing the torment that their mothers went through. In other words, men provide torment, along with civilization, government, education, transportation, safety, etc. Why they would ever even make a segment like this that is so flagrantly toxically masculine, it just goes to show you how obtuse Western females are, and how obtuse these super liberal, super progressive TV producers are.
It's very common across Africa for communities to help raise each other's children. In Umoja, there could be anything between 50 to 100 children living there. Now, we all know it takes a village. Well, let me tell you, this village is thriving as women...
Is it? It's really thriving? One piece of dung at a time, right?
...and turn the idea of community on its head by challenging traditional beliefs. Nora?
Absolutely.
They're not challenging shit. I promise you, for all those women who went off and formed that village, you have a man who said good riddance. Because if the men really wanted those women back, they would storm the village and take them broads back. The men don't want them broads.
Fascinating. Deborah Pata in South Africa. Thank you. And you've never met a mother who isn't strong.
Give me a fucking break. There are great mothers out there. There are good mothers out there. There are average mothers out there. And there are terrible mothers out there. All this bullshit about you never met a mother who wasn't strong. You full of shit.
Incredibly
It's absolutely true, and I love, too,
No, it's not true.
the message they want to send to their boys, because that's where you have to teach them at a very early age.
Brothers, you hear that? That's the agenda, is to turn all your young boys into simps that will bow down to whores. All their mothers in that village are whores. They begot children by whoredom. They went out into a city somewhere, got pregnant, and just brought the child back. So they're already telling their sons that you're of no value other than your seed. And these dingbats here on this panel, they have no comprehension of that, because once again, for the most part, the woman is not a three-dimensional thinker. You have women out there who understand the importance of the father and the ramifications of trying to cut the role of the father out of the life of the child. And then you have bitter old wig-wearing broads like Gayle King, who's still upset that she walked into her house 30 plus years ago and found her husband banging out some woman. Okay? And that's a true story. That's what she's still mad about.
How young boys can treat women.
Young boys and men should treat women with respect as long as they conduct themselves in a manner befitting respect. When the woman no longer conducts herself in a manner that shows that she deserves to be respected, leave her alone. Leave her. You don't got to whoop her ass. You ain't got to yell at her and all that other nonsense. All you're going to be doing is compromising yourself and potentially compromising your own life. That's why you have to take your time with these females and find out how crazy they are. Because it's not a matter of whether or not they're crazy. It's a matter of how crazy are they. Are they 5% crazy or 95% crazy?
I don't think I would like living in a place where there are no men, because as stressful as they can also give you great joy. But they're...
Yeah, of course. You want a nice old man to give you some nice old dick and help you bust a nice old nut. Just keep it real, Gail.
But there is a way to figure it out.
And how they work together in harmony,
Yes.
right? And have that emergency fund, right? To take care of each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Why don't you take your ass out there and live with them then? Since you like that emergency fund. Okay? Deal with that emergency fund of baboon balls that they use as currency out there instead of the stocks and bonds that you have here in this society. Damn dingbat. And look at John Dickerson over there, or as I call him, John No Dickerson, just smirking and staying quiet because he lost his backbone as soon as they fired Charlie Rose and brought him on. He knew that he can't make any waves around these broads. He can't say a damn thing. Just smirking like a damn idiot.
Different way of living.
And tomorrow in our world.
But anyway, that's basically it on that. I caught this feature, and after I threw up, I said, let me do a little video about this dumb shit. So peace.